Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and I am a big fan of Labyrinth. I mean, I think any '80s kid, any '90s kid, anyone who's seen Labyrinth loves Labyrinth. It's such a great film. It holds up today just for being fun and dark fantasy from the 1980s. It kind of takes us back to a bygone era of practical effects, and then David Bowie's junk bouncing around for who knows how long that movie is. I don't know, 2 hours, whatever. But either way, Labyrinth is a classic. It's some people call it a cult classic. I don't really believe by calling it a cult classic. It's a classic. It's a classic. I think it wasn't discovered later on. It was a big thing back in the day. A lot of people I know really liked it. I loved it growing up as a kid. I still love it now as an adult, and I look forward to when my children are old enough to understand the concepts of the Goblin King, and also Hoggle, because who doesn't love Hoggle? However, what we found out today is that they are going to be moving forward with a sequel, which to me seems a little bit on the okay side. I'm not against it. I just want. I mean, It all depends on what the story is. But this is what Deadline is reporting. Scott Derrickson to direct Labyrinth for TriStar Pictures. Maggie Levin to write the script. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. TriStar Pictures. I mean, really, when's the last time you heard anything out of TriStar? I haven't. I mean, they were big back in the day. But anyway, so it says here that Scott Derrickson has found a new fantasy franchise to take on after exiting Doctor Strange 2. He has been set by TriStar Pictures to direct the sequel to Jim Henson's Labyrinth. Maggie Levin, who wrote and directed Into the Dark and My Valentine for Hulu, will write the script. So already right off the talk, I think Into the Dark is pretty dark. It's a pretty dark story. If I haven't seen it, but if I recall what I heard about it, it was pretty dark. I don't know anything about My Valentine, but I like the idea of dark fantasy. And I think Derrickson, who's got a very good horror background, and now with the expertise he learned, or the experience he gained off of doing Doctor Strange in a very heavy visual effects medium, I think being able to marry the two is going to be very interesting, especially if practical effects are a large part of this. Now it says here, obviously talking about the original 1986 version. Okay, so it says Lisa Henson of the Jim Henson Company is producing. Brian Henson is executive producing. Derrickson is also executive producing with C. Robert Cargill, who wrote Doctor Strange. Blanca Lista, Senior VP of Feature Film Production for Henson, is shepherding the project for the Jim Henson Company. So what this tells me right now, because there's not much more information, that's literally about it. It's just they're announcing that they're doing it. They're announcing that it's coming. They're announcing all the, that's it. What that really means is that they have a script, they have a director, they have the producers. Now they are in the process of trying to find probably a bigger distributor. If I recall, TriStar was a production company that I forget who they partnered with for distribution. But the question then becomes, is this going to be a theatrical thing, or is this going to be something that goes to streaming? And I think that's a very fair question. Look at Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance came out about 10 months ago. That was an 8-episode series on Netflix that was a prequel to Dark Crystal, directed by Louis Leterrier, if I'm saying his name correctly. He produced a lot of it. He directed a lot of it. And that was something that, again, people really flocked to, but they liked it in streaming. The problem with that, though, is that the series was a bit of a slog to get through at times. It had a bit of a slow start, right? It had a bit of a slow start. This time, this is a movie. And who knows, given our current situation, if this is one that would not be better suited for perhaps a streaming service. Now, is that going to be Netflix? Maybe. Maybe Dark Crystal, that was a Henson production, I believe. But then Disney has got the Muppets, and Disney may want something like this. However, I don't quite feel Derrickson is going to want to dive in to working with Disney again after what happened with Doctor Strange 2. I think he's going to want to avoid it. So I don't think Disney's at play. But this could be an HBO Max thing. HBO Max is bringing back the Gremlins cartoon. That's something that's in development. They've got their own library of older stuff. We got Peacock coming. Universal may want something that's going to be original. I look at something like Labyrinth 2, and I look at it from 2 points of view. One, is it unnecessary? Yeah, it is. I'm happy that it's going to be a sequel and that it's not going to be a reboot. That is something that I think needs to be acknowledged and lauded. That it's not just going to be a reboot. Oh, because you can't reboot it, you can't remake it. It's a sequel. So what does that mean? Who's going to be the new Goblin King? What are they going to find? I don't know. But if they're going to be coming at it from a practical perspective, and building the sets and having the puppets and the Henson Company is behind it after the failing that was the Happy Time Murders, which Brian Henson directed, that was very much very much criticized for how bad it was. You can kind of see at this point what they want to do. So I would go as far as to say that this is going to be something coming to streaming, but I'm obviously interested. Show me, show me some design work, show me some shots, some previs ideas. Give me a cast, give me information, give me a story synopsis, give me a bunch of stuff, because that's what I want to see at this point. I want to see a bunch of things, and hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's interesting. I like Scott Derrickson films. He works better when he does, he's done his horror stuff. I like his horror stuff, and I think this will be more contained, and it will be more streamlined, and it's not going to be a big tent pole that's going to be adding into a larger universe, so he'll have a lot more control, and I'm excited to see where things go. Again, provided they get the right people, because without Bowie, that's going to be the biggest pushback. Is without Bowie, are people going to care? I don't know. Jennifer Connelly's still around. Hopefully Jennifer Connelly's involved, but they haven't said that she's going to be involved at all in this one, so it's something to consider. Weird to think that it's been 34 years since the release of that movie. Weird to think, but we are where we are. And yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. If you made it this far, do me a favor, type Goblin King into the comment box so I know you guys made it this far in the video. I appreciate that. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Beat the crap out of that notification bell. And I'll talk to you guys all later. Have yourself a great day. Thanks again for watching, and peace out.